Okay, mate. Yeah. So Troy, yeah, it's interesting. And as you're saying, you know, the 4 hours, the near term is very important for this coin. And the reason why you're looking at it obviously is this movement here. Can this movement here hold? I mean, price needs to hold above the open of here, meaning that if this is actually a bit of a test pump here at the moment, you want to see that small, what is this? This is a weekly, there's 3 days left. Well, we'll look at the smaller time frames now soon, but obviously, you know, you want to see something like this and not go below that white line. You want to see something like that. Now, I know we have 3 days left before the opening price, so we need to see where this is going to close first, and we can look at other time frames. Now, what also is good is that the fact that the weekly white 100 moving average is coming down into price, and we're not getting the compression yet, but we're very close to getting that compression. Like spikes here there's too much distance here. It's not compression. There's too much distance here when you got this spike, but this spike here, we're starting to get that compression. So what I'm trying to say is, if we could get a candle like this, it sets up for something like this then, because we are in this compression, right? So we're not there yet, but it's a possibility, right? It's a possibility because we're sort of inside this compression. Like if I zoom out and we look at that entire chart, you can kind of see that compression is trying to start. It's trying to build. So this could be very important, what you're looking at. So it's very, very well spotted, and it might be the start of something. In these moves, as you know, the red 200 moving average coming down, sometimes these moves can run and target and test in there. Okay, so it is important to see this, and it's important to see this level hold down here. So if I wipe that off the chart there, that's just a bit of a broad overview of the larger scale of things. Let's just see what it looks like. Actually, let me go right out here just very quickly. Yeah, okay, so there you go. This is nice. I know it's already had a move up there. I do need to be careful about that. But when you get dojis here, you know, on a new year, they are very important. And a New Year's is when you can get after a doji, because you've already taken liquidity up here. So it in theory can move back up to this point very easily, because a lot of liquidity has been taken, which cleans up the order book up as far as here. So then when price gets up here, well, a lot of these people up here may have already sold. There mightn't be as many orders in the order book, and that's why sometimes when you take out here, price can go parabolic, because there's not many orders in the order book up here, and it's been such a long time. Okay, so it is the chart has already done its work in cleaning the order book up as far as here. Of course, there's going to be some orders in here that will need to be taken or whatever as it moves up there. You can see it's actually on the yearly open right now. It flipped red there a second ago, and now it's back green again. So we are right on the yearly open here. Through 24 days left. Bloody hell, yeah, 18 days to Christmas, or well, I think it is anyway. But the doji is very nice, right? And it is definitely interesting to be looking at that, because if this finishes the year here, it could be a very safe buy. Obviously, as long as we're going to get a green year. We are expecting green years. Obviously, you know, it's okay expecting one and getting one is two different things. We never want to get too complacent in the market. You know, what if the stock market just rolls over and starts crashing next year and all that sort of stuff. There's always things that could flip things on its head. But overall, when you get dojis like this, often it does bounce back up like that. Okay, so very interesting. If it finishes like this, a small dip down, a flip green would be a beautiful buy with a very low risk, and even potentially look to buy as we dip down to take liquidity here. Right, that's also a fantastic point to be buying as a low risk entry point. Like you can see back up to this level alone, like if we just go to here, a double top, that's a 200% bounce. And I don't want to say it's guaranteed, but if you're going to have a green year, well, it's probably, you know, there's a 80 to 90% chance you could probably get a 200% bounce there if you're going to have a green year. So you know, there's no certainties in the market, but the risk reward buying down here is fantastic. If you take liquidity and especially start bouncing up. So I hope we remember this on a new year for Troy, and it's not too long away. I'll tell you what, I think I'll just post this in the watch list channel right now so I don't forget, and hopefully that'll help us remember. So that's the thing for a new year. I know you want smaller time frames because you're looking to get the entry right now, but I'm just saying that you can see here where this wick came down to take liquidity in here. So on a new year, it is suggesting that a dip down into this area is probably possible. If we kind of line that up there, you can see that there's actually a support line right here. A dip into that support could be a very, very good buying opportunity. As this moves forward, you can see that this monthly chart is kind of rounding out. It's trying to round out here anyway, at least. It doesn't really look rounded enough, if you know what I mean. It looks like it may need another little bit of consolidation here, but that's not a given and that's not a certainty. The monthly has bounced up and took liquidity here. This one bounced and took liquidity in here, and this one bounced and took liquidity here. Okay, so that, and this one has took liquidity there. So yeah, you just need to watch that carefully. I also like the fact that this put in large volume down here. Now we'll get to the shorter time frames now, but this large volume can be support right here, and I love to see pierces below those. I don't know if we get it, but my alarms are not set up here with the right webhook on it. I need to change that. So anyway, yeah, let's now look at the smaller time frames. The 3 day, very nice 3 day, but unfortunately it did get that rejection. When I do see this though, I like to trade a new 3 day. What is it? It's up 9% here. So that moved today. Yeah, that moved today. I do like to buy below. I know the day's not closed yet, but when we get this, you see the way it's trying to break the red 200 moving average? Well, I do like to buy it below here. I know we don't know if it's going to close today, but this is a daily chart. I like to buy it in the body, somewhere down in here. So you did look at the 4 hour chart. Look at that. Yeah, it did get that dip down here today. If the next 4 hour candle does come back down here, well, I do think that down here is a decent place for accumulation. It's a shame that dipped straight down there. We just kind of missed that. Not that we're too far away from that. There's still the possibility of coming a bit lower down here. Definitely interesting. Yeah, look at that. On a new 12 hour, maybe it might give a dip down in here, because this really is a you know, it's a pump and dump. That's a 10-minute candle. That's insane. What was that bounce on that? Yeah, that's a proper scam. That's a scam pump. 40% bounce on that. So there's no VWAP. Okay, so there's VWAP. So the way I look, this is a potential drop and pop play as well. If you know, I like to buy this on pierces or touches of the red 200. So that this green box that I put in actually lines up with this 10-minute red 200. So if we do drop down in here into the red 200, I do like to trade these for a single day pop back up into here, and they are the drop and pop play as shown in our education section. But they do need to happen all in the one day. So you know, this needs to drop here today down into this area, and then it starts to move back up on the same day. It all happens on the same day. Don't get me wrong, it's a different type of play, but these can drop down and do this for a day, and it comes into tomorrow, and you know, maybe you'll form something like this, and then eventually you move back up, but your VWAP will not be up here anymore. That's a different type of trade. But one thing also, there has been no change in volume. Okay, so is this a bottom? It potentially is, but sometimes, you know, you like to see a bit of volume spike here to indicate you know, maybe some sort of well, capitulation or absorption, volume absorption. You know, maybe they tried to sell it lower and the buyers came back and stepped up. So yeah, I would like to buy this lower ideally. Now sometimes you don't get it and sometimes it'll go higher without this. In that case, well, I think just let it run, because it's not easy to buy it here. I would prefer to buy it a little bit lower. And the ideal situation would be if it stop hunts this low, because the stop hunt that low would then be into the red 200 moving average area, and it would be a deviation or stop hunt, and then it gives you better risk reward for a bounce back up. These are often about 10% bounces. Now, don't quote me on that, but well, there's a 12% bounce, something like that. I see it often, and that is just a general rule of thumb. It's not an exact science. It is looking a little bit strong here, but the thing is, the previous high is up here. Okay, so it still has a long way to go before a change in actual market structure. This ideally could form a high somewhere here, and it could drop back down, stop onto lows, and then a move back up takes out this high, and then you have a change of market structure. It could do something like this, and then continue on its merry way. At the moment, the high up here is a little bit too far away, and it's not so easy to change market structure. There's also no volume yet, but you know, sometimes you do just get a lengthy consolidation here, and then that I drew that bad, and then that becomes a break of structure. You build your own new structure here, and a break of this sort of structure then becomes a breakout, and it moves up. So at the moment, I wouldn't buy here. I would either let it develop and see, or I would like to see a stop onto the lows. Now there's 3 days left, but if you look back here, there's similar candles. There's two candles here actually, similar but not identical. These two here, and you can see that you form these, and there's a dip down into the body, and then the dip down into the body was a buy right before the move. That was a big wick on top, and well, ideally, I've got the same thing in mind, that a dip down on a new week, Monday, Tuesday, dip down into here can be a buy, and that was the ultimate buy. Yes, you see the big pop, but if you missed the big pop, you buy into the body, and then later there was a 60% bounce. It's very possible here that something similar happens, a dip down into the body on a new week, and then look for a bounce up. Maybe it bounces up to take liquidity in this candle here. This one bounced up to take liquidity here. Maybe this one wants to continue bouncing to take liquidity in here. So definitely well worth watching. Yeah, sorry for the long video, 12 minutes. I didn't realize 12 minutes, but there's a potential good opportunity here. It's worth watching.